Hello everyone, it's Andrew here, and I'm honestly honored to present the brand new release of JetSmartFilters 3.7. This update brings something that's kind of a big deal. The new release doesn't just expand what the plugin can do, it completely redefines how fast it works and enhances site performance. Now you can create listings, items, and styles inside one block-based builder that's optimized for performance from top to bottom. One plugin, one workflow, and blazing fast results on the front end. Let's jump in and see how it works in practice. So, with the new release of JetSmartFilters, you'll notice a brand new option in the plugins dashboard. It's called Listing Builder. First, head over to Settings and make sure that in the JetSmartFilter General Settings, JSF Listing toggle is turned on. That's what enables the new provider we'll be working with. Now let's click the Listing Builder button. This is where you'll manage everything related to your items and listings, and you'll find quick access buttons for both in the top right corner. Essentially, items are templates. These define how a single entity like a post, product, or page looks. You can think of them as the JetSmartFilters version of JetEngine listings. Listings, on the other hand, are the settings that group multiple items together, so similar to listing grids in JetEngine. Clicking those buttons will show you all the items and listings you've already created, which in our case is none yet. Alright, let's move on to the Items section and click Add New Item. The editor is right here. It opens instantly right inside the same dashboard view, and it is the core element of the Listing Filter Builder. Here we can use some standard WordPress blocks, but now with JetSmartFilters 3.7 you also get a set of new dynamic blocks introduced by the Listing Filter Builder. Let's quickly go through them. Listing field renders any kind of text data. It can pull values from object metadata, custom fields, or the website's option page. You can also use filter callbacks and modify the output format here. Listing image displays the image source dynamically. Listing link handles dynamic links, and it's a perfect solution when you need the link and its label both to have different sources with dynamic data. Listing terms outputs taxonomy terms related to your item. By default, term labels are linked to their archive pages, and you've got options to reorder them in the block settings. If you have ever worked with JetEngine dynamic blocks for Blocks Editor or equivalent widgets in Elementor and elements in Bricks, this will feel instantly familiar. One more thing worth noting: each of these new blocks comes with its own styling settings panel. You get full control over layout, color scheme, and typography, and since dummy content is visible here, you can fine-tune your design immediately. No extra plugins required. And notice this: when creating this item, we didn't have to commit to any specific content type like you would in JetEngine. Even if we used custom fields from certain entities as data sources, the template itself stays flexible. That means later you can apply this item to any relevant content type, posts, products, or custom post types, anything that fits. Let's save the item and move on to creating our listing. So in the Listings section, we'd normally see any listings we already created, but since this is our new one, let's click the New Listing button at the top. Here we can enter a name for our future listing, and right below we get the Listing Builder interface. It's divided into 3 tabs: Query, Layout, and Item. The Query section works just like a mini query builder. It defines what content will appear, how many items per page, and in what order. And how many and offset options are right at the top, nice and easy to use. Then we've got the Order By settings, where you can sort results by date, title, and other metadata. Next, we see Post settings to choose exactly what type of content we want to fetch. In the Post Type dropdown, you'll see all the WordPress essentials: posts, pages, media, as well as custom post types created with other plugins. In my case, there's a custom post type called Ads made with JetEngine. We can narrow the results further by post status, author, or by including or excluding specific posts. There's also a toggle called Ignore Sticky Posts. It simply tells WordPress whether to respect posts that were manually pinned to the top of the blog or treat them like regular ones. And if you need something more advanced, there's an Advanced Settings section to filter posts by taxonomy terms or custom field values or both. Now moving to the Layout tab, this is where we define how our listing will look. You can set the number of columns, spacing between items, and responsive behavior for different screen sizes, all right here. And finally, the Item section. Here we simply choose which item template this listing will use, and you'll see the one we just created in the drop-down. You can also start creating a new item directly from this tab or quickly jump back to editing the existing one. So inside the listing settings, we define which template is used for what content type, but the key difference from JetEngine is that these templates are universal. You can reuse the same item for multiple content types without creating separate listings from scratch, like building a single template that works for blog posts and news. And since both structure and layout are handled right inside the same builder, you can build and preview everything faster than ever. Now let's add our listing to a page, and from this point it's super easy. Inside the page editor, simply look for a block called JSF listing. Then drag it right onto the area where you want the listing to appear. In the block settings, pick the right options from the listing drop-down, and that's it. We've already configured everything earlier: the query, layout, and item source. So once you select your listing here, it's instantly ready to display content. But what about filters? The very essence of JetSmartFilters. Well, the process of adding them hasn't changed much, although now you will notice a much faster performance when filtering items created with the same plugin. Let's go ahead and insert a couple of filters. For example, a search filter block to let users search by post title, and a range filter block for filtering by numeric field, like price or year. As usual, each filter block needs to be connected. In the filter settings, select your previously created filter from the list and then choose the provider. In this case, we're picking JetSmartFilters Listing. And remember, if you have multiple listing blocks on the same page and you want a filter to apply only to one of them, give that listing a unique query ID and enter that same ID in your filter settings. So what's new for filters in version 3.7? Well, first, they now come with their own built-in style manager right inside the block settings panel. The available options differ depending on the filter type, but they let you customize layout, colors, typography, spacing, and more. If you're still using the Jet Style Manager plugin, don't worry, they work together for now, with the block's own settings taking priority. And second, the filters now work seamlessly with our listings. They're part of a single ecosystem thanks to the new Listing Filter Builder. Oh, and the Pagination block, being part of the JetSmartFilters, also connects with the new JSF listing provider and includes the Style Manager right inside its settings as well. Once again, JetSmartFilters now covers more ground than ever before, from building listings to styling and filtering them all inside one plugin. Earlier, I mentioned that it's not a problem to use the same template, or as we call it here in JetSmartFilters, the same item for completely different content types. So let's see how that works. I'll open the listing settings and in the post type dropdown, Switch it from My Custom Ads type to Regular Posts, then save the listing. Back on the page where we already added the JSF listing block, we now see a grid of all the standard WordPress posts on the site. And notice there are no errors at all, even though our template previously pulled values from custom meta fields of a different post type. When a new content type doesn't have those same custom fields, those elements just stay hidden. Any styling or layout related to them simply doesn't apply. Similarly, we can keep the same listing structure and just switch to a different item template, instantly changing the design on the front end. That's some really impressive flexibility. Items, listings, and content types can now be quickly interchanged without rebuilding everything from scratch. This is a very important update to JetSmartFilters, and of course we wanted it to be useful not only for block editor users but also for those working with other builders. That's why we made sure it integrates perfectly with both Elementor and Bricks. Let's see that in action. In the Elementor editor, look for the JSF listing widget and drag it onto your page. Then simply select the listing you want to display and voila! All your listings appear with the exact same layout and styling that you defined earlier in the listing builder. Now, just like before, add your filters and pagination. The process is exactly the same as in previous versions of JetSmartFilters, but this time connect them to the new JSF listing provider. All your listings appear with the exact same layout and styling that you defined earlier in the listing builder, and filters work noticeably faster since they are part of the same plugin thanks to the listing filter builder. The same goes for the Bricks editor. When inserting a JSF listing element, you'll see identical results, same listing selection, same dynamic functionality, and now the same filter connection, all with no extra setup. So really, it doesn't matter which builder you're using. You've already taken care of the listing design and logic in the dashboard, and inside each editor you still have access to their advanced settings to make sure the listing fits perfectly into your page layout. This isn't a small update, it's a huge step forward for JetSmartFilters. It's built for speed, faster loading, smoother filtering, and a noticeably lighter setup. We've added full listing and item functionality into the same plugin that handles your filters, with built-in block styles for easier visual control. It all runs under one hood for faster workflows and better performance on the front end. For Crocoblock professionals and workhorse site creators, this is exactly the kind of upgrade that makes every build faster and more efficient. Go ahead and update to JetSmartFilter 3.7, explore the new listing filter builder, and feel the difference. And if you enjoyed this walkthrough, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Crocoblock tutorials.